Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we're just going to have a look at the Valiantors synergy. So what does the Valiantors synergy do? First things first, at the start of battle applies a sail on the ally team, increasing physical damage dealt by 150% for 4 rounds, and at the start of battle applies 25% damage immunity boost on the ally team for 4 rounds as well. What that means is for the first 4 rounds we're going to be much stronger, and we want to get the battle over with as quickly as possible with the Valiantors. Second thing is we do get that 25% damage reduction effectively. I think it's just worded a bit weird on here, but you get 25% damage reduction. That's useful against all types of damage, reflect, corrode, standard damage, physical, magical damage. All damage is just reduced by 25% for the first 4 rounds. So you do want to get the battle over with as quickly as you possibly can with the Valiantors. Otherwise, they do not scale well into a longer battle. Now, I've only got 2, as you can see, of these relics, so we're only going to be able to activate this first bit. But the second bit is what we're going to focus on. When a Valiant synergy mate attacks a target with less than 20% HP, there's a 100% chance to execute the target. What that means is if a unit were to fall below, for us, well, for me, 10% HP, but generally below 20% HP, you will just see a line go through the enemy. You'll see the term execute pop up, and then following on from that, the enemy will be no more. It's very effective against all types of strategies, especially units that have a lot of HP, which we're seeing much more now with units like Elisha, Dahlia, Ophelia, stuff like that, or units like that on the field. So Valiantors can be very effective. Now, in my opinion, on the Valiantors, they don't scale well into the late game, and it's because, or PvE late game anyway, they don't scale well, and primarily it's because of how much health the enemies do have, and you rarely see this. There are units to try and combat that, like for example Hades, who increases this limit up to 35%, even if you don't have 3 Valiantors relics on at the time, and he also increases this damage reduction to 35% as well. So not a small figure, to say the least. But again, there are only 2 units which I think you should focus on from the Valiantors synergy, and that would be Atrops and one which I don't have. Oh no, faux pas. But that is Elmer. So Elmer at 7 stars. You are able to effectively cheese a lot of the PvE content, just because of how long the battles do go on, and especially if you use the Undying Shield effect. So the Undying Shield is an artifact in PvP, can be picked up I think this season from boss number 4, but Elmer holds his ground, won't die as long as there's at least 1 ally alive, and the Undying Shield says as long as there is 1 enemy alive on the front row, or 1 ally alive on the front row, your back 3 won't go down. So effectively this combination makes your team immortal. Unfortunately, I cannot show that off right now, but as it stands, we'll jump into some PvP and just see how they do. So I've gone ahead and built a team here, my only real 5 Valiantors. Again, I've not focused altogether too much on Valiantors, but if you are very early game, you want to build a team something like this. So you have Diane and Gerald. Gerald, quick tip, you need to put him here so he hits all 5 enemies. If you put him here, 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 or here, he will only hit 4 out of 5 enemies, but if you put him in this back middle slot, he will hit all 5 enemies. So just something to keep in mind. We won't be using these 2 though. We will be using Victoria, and we will also be using Elune, because I think those are the 2 best. Christine is of note, but again, you need stunners for that. So just something to keep in mind. And my relics, as you can see, got the Sawblade, I've got the Horn, and the Hand of Tyr as well. This should be Knight's Edge to get that 3rd Valiantors star underneath, but as it stands, don't have that, unfortunately. But we do have 5 Valiantors, and we have 2 Dawnbringers in the form of Atrops and Themis as well. So what I'm going to show you is just how effective this team can be very early on, and then later on Themis, unfortunately, although she might look super flashy in this particular match, she is not as flashy as you think she is. And again, it is it is primarily, there's the execute mechanic. We did not see that. I've not seen that in quite some time, for this team anyway, on this account. But as you can see, we do get the boost from Atrops. Atrops will increase our attack by 40%. That scales dramatically, or drastically. Anyway, it keeps going up and up and up and up. Now we do get the kill. We got the execute with Themis, but it doesn't trigger. So it's something to keep in mind. When Themis executes with that ultimate, it doesn't trigger, unfortunately. Just is what it is. So we do apply this mark. Fortunately, we do have Fortitude active because of our horn. So we would have survived that, even if that was lethal damage. Quite good. And then Ashlyn to heal up here as well. So as you can see, Themis here getting a lot of the damage done. And so is a Loon, to be fair. But Themis does not scale very well into late game. Just something to keep in mind. And as you can see, we executed the majority of those targets. So the execute mechanic is very, very strong, reasonably early on, especially if you can get it up to that 20%, and even better if you have somebody like Hades on the team who increases the overall limit, even if you've only got 2 relics, even if you've got 2 Valiantors relics, so you get the 10%. Even if you've got 0 Valiantors relics, your Valiantors will still execute if you've got Hades. So it's just my 2 thoughts on the Valiantors mechanic again, or the Valiantors synergy. Again, I don't think they scale too late. I don't think they scale late into the end game. It's not something that I would personally, enjoy later on. But if it is your bag and you like all that physical damage, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and see how good they are in late game. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope it's been informative, and I hope you have a great day.